So the big question is this: how do most agents who don't have access to the secrets that the top agents in our industry hoard to themselves grow and prosper in today's real estate environment? That's the question. And this video podcast is the answer. I'm Pat Hyben, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. Rockstar Nation, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to stay to the end, where our guests will be offering a free gift. As you know, all of our guests offer a free gift, and all of these gifts can be found on the Agent Success Toolbox. You could find that by going to hybendigital.com/toolbox, or simply texting the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox to 444-999. I am going to put today's free gift in today's show notes, but if you want all of them, including gifts from most of our guests that have come on the show, just go to the Agent Success Toolbox. All right, Rockstar Nation, got a great guest today, coming about an hour north of Toronto, Canada. Kristin Cripps is on the line, and man, she is busy, and she's got so many things going on. It's making my head spin, and I'm busy as hell as it is, with so many different ADD things. So this is going to be a good one. We're going to talk some really good stuff about time management, how to do business on the road, and everything else. So without further ado, Kristin, welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Thank you.
Hey, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself so they get to know you better?
Sure, no worries. So I have a real estate brokerage, like you said, about an hour north of Toronto. I originally was a massage therapist, bartender, waitress, loved decorating. So I would always buy houses, make them prettier, sell them. And I kind of got into business just to save myself the commission because, obviously when you're doing it every 2 to 3 months, it gets a little expensive. So I never thought I'd do it for a living. I just started doing it more and more as friends and family members and their friends started using me. And that's kind of how it started. I invest. I usually hold 10 to 20, sometimes 30 properties at a time. And I get bored easy. So travel around and have my hand in a lot of other, businesses as well. And that's kind of the short of it.
That's awesome. So it sounds very familiar. So yeah. I want to dig down into a lot of stuff. So first of all, let's talk about your real estate sales business. Then I want to talk to you about your real estate investing. Then I want to talk to you about your, ancillary business, how you make money in addition to real estate sales. So sure. Real estate sales, how many houses did you sell in the last 12 months?
So we did 87. We were down from the year before, which I've never, ever gone down ever. However, I stepped away from the business and brought a team in. So it just, it takes time to get that going. So I did 112 the year before by myself. So I basically was gone 11 months out of last year. So to still do 87.
Well, you're only there for a month out of 12, Noah, and you went down, 20%. Hell, that's not bad. Yeah. You could have went down 80%.
Right. But this year we're already up over that. So we had our goal and it was for the end of the year and we did it at the end of August. So I took my team away for 4 days to celebrate. So we, we're on the up and up. So there's just 3 of them.
So you went, okay. So let me get this straight. So you went from literally you were doing by yourself with no team.
Right.
So 112. Yeah.
Sorry.
112 units, 10 house, like 10 houses a month. And you had to have some help, right?
I had 1 administrative assistant. Yeah.
And then you're like, I'm going to travel 11 months out of 12 next year. And in order to do that, I'm going to hire people to do that. So tell me about that process. How'd you do it?
Well, I started because I'm a traveler at heart. So when I realized I wasn't traveling so much, that really got to me. So then I was like, I have to travel. I basically went home that night and planned a bunch of trips. But obviously I couldn't leave my clients high and dry. And then, they're like, oh, will she be back in 3 months? When will we get to see this house? So obviously I had to hire. So I put out some feelers for agents and some of them were past clients of mine looking to get into real estate. Some of them were agents on other teams. And I got another administrative assistant, as well as a virtual assistant. So I have a girl in the Philippines. She's amazing. She works like her whole night because obviously the time change. And I just started pumping all my people to them. So they had the rapport with me. So I was a little leery that they wouldn't want to go to them, but they were quite open because I'm big on parties. So I do these parties twice a year. So they still have the face contact with me. It's not like they never see me again. And I still do a lot of touch points and calls and I get these things dropped off at their door twice a year by my admin. So they're still always getting things from me. I do a magazine. So they get that every 3 months. So it's not like, oh, who's this random person we don't know? They still are seeing stuff from me all the time, but then they have this new face that's helping them basically.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you drop in for the party and you roll out. Now,
Yeah.
Here's a question probably in a lot of people's minds, right? So you're traveling, you're going all these places. You said you went to Croatia and the Balkans and that area, for a month. When you're there, you posting on social media, hey, look at me, I'm over here in Split, Croatia.
Yeah, I still am, but they're still getting their like monthly newsletter, email. They're still getting their magazine stuff because I can do all that away, like what I want in the magazine. I don't have to be there to do it. So a lot of them just say like living vicariously through you. And I want them to live vicariously through themselves. So I'm doing it from investment properties, right? So I like showing my clients how they can use, the equity in their home or even not the equity in their home, just buying, investment properties so they can do the same thing. So they don't have to wait till they're 65, 70, whatever to travel the world or do whatever they want with that money. Like I took my parents to Nepal and Bhutan last year. So maybe they want to take their parents away or maybe they want to retire, whatever, their aunt who's not very well, or they want to have that money for their kids for their college. So whatever it is they want, or go on a sailing tour for 6 months, I just want to show them how to do that. So I don't want to do what I say, not what I do. I want to show them that I'm living my dreams too, basically through my passive income in real estate investments.
Yeah, that's interesting because like a friend of mine who's in the real estate game, right, who's got, he's a broker, right?
Yeah.
He's got all these agents, watching him. And he posted something recently of him skiing his 100th day of the year, right? Snowboarding. Day 100 for the year. I met my goal is to snowboard 100 days out of the year. And there was a group text going around. I was like, dude, you shouldn't have done that. That was a disaster. You want people to think you're working all the time. What's your philosophy on that?
I like the living the dream, right? Like living it now, not waiting, because we never know. Like we never know car accident tomorrow or health something tomorrow. So I don't like waiting till a far off date. I like doing it now. It doesn't have to be like going to Croatia for a month or going whatever, because maybe your funds don't allow that right now. But it might just be going snowboarding for the afternoon or taking your kid out of school and going, for a spa day or whatever. Like just living your stuff now and not saying, oh, once I, down the road. I hate down the road thinking because we don't know if it'll come. I don't like thinking like morbidly, but we don't really know, right? So I don't know. I like living it now.
Yeah. Okay. And all right. So let's get back to the numbers. So like, sure. What was your ECI, as we like to say on the show, ego commission income? What was your total commissions that you brought in off those 87 deals?
So it was just around $1 million.
Okay.
And then my take home was 730 and change.
That's awesome. Wait a minute. First of all, let me break some things down. So this $1 million US, $1 million Canada, Canadian, and how's that?
That was like $2 US.
Yeah. What is it? What is it US?
That would probably be like 7. I don't know.
700 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. And then yeah. So what are your expenses on that?
So because I do such high repeat and referral. So I do like 87 to 91, 92% a year repeat referral.
Jeez.
So
really, God Lord.
I know, it's always been like my bread and butter. I don't like doing anything by myself besides going to the gym. That's my personal time. But I don't want to walk around the lake, by myself. Like I used to have a dog for 12 years. I would never walk my dog by myself. I'd never go shopping by myself. I'd never anything. I'd always do it with people. So I'm building those relationships with people. And also I like it too, because I'm single. I don't have kids, right? So I like the interaction with everybody. I go for sushi with people. I go for whatever. So I'm building those relationships. So when they do have, somebody thinking of buying or selling, they think of me, as opposed to, let's just say I get a listing presentation and they say like, I noticed they bought with somebody else, and I'm curious, I'm happy that I'm sitting here today across from you, but I'm curious why, you're not listing with that person. And they say, well, we've never heard from them since, like, and we see all your posts about these parties, and we see your posts about this, and we see your, so they just see them doing a bunch of things besides, okay, here's the keys for your house, and never seeing them again. I'm staying in contact with all these people. So I love the contact aspect, and obviously it helps me in business wise.
So when you're in Croatia and you're traveling wherever in Bhutan or wherever you are, you're texting people and you're talking to them and you're communicating with them, right?
I'm not doing it like as much when I'm away. So I have my 2 big parties a year, every April and every September. And then last year we started doing littler parties, because my parties they started with like 40 people. My first one was at my house. Now the September ones are around 300, 350, and the April ones are like 500 to 600. So people that knew me back in those smaller parties of 40, 50 people, they're a little intimidated, some of them, by the bigger parties. So we started doing these littler ones, and we'll just have a day and we'll do macrame or like painted potted plants we did one day, or we'll just do like little crafty days. And then we also started like investment, talking about Airbnb or talking about whatever. So we just invite 40-ish people, have a little lunch, some wraps and stuff. So they're just,
So you have like left brain parties and right brain parties, right? You got left brain parties. Let's talk about the Airbnbs in the Toronto marketplace,
Sure.
and coming regulation. And you invite 40 people, and that's more of a lunch gig with coffee and caffeine. And then you have another party that's a right brain party where you have alcohol, and it's more fun, and it's more about just a big ass party, right? Like fucking tons of people, right?
Yeah, I spend more than weddings on the parties. Yeah. But so they're just fun. So people can, they're always, again, top of mind. So I just say, bring whoever you want. The more the merrier. They have fun. And so I talked to them. You said like, oh, when I'm away, am I texting these people or whatever? I just remind them of the party. But I've known some of these people for like 10, 12 years. So I've seen their kids grow up, like, oh, how's Jason? How's, Madeline, whatever. So I can talk to them. We're talking about the party. I'm just saying, just remember, if you ever, come across anybody thinking of buying or selling, I always appreciate, when you keep my name in mind, just to always put it out there. So I'm not just like, hey, I'm the party planner and come whatever. I want them to remember me. And they're like, oh yeah, we always, I tell my coworkers, or I tell my this person, or I tell my that person. I do, stress that, but I don't want it all business. Business to me is tacky when it's just business, 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 and there's no person behind it. I like to have, the person behind it. Right. So that's what I do. And it's in my magazines too. It's in my newsletters. It's in everything.
And you just promote. It's kind of like a Mexican wedding almost, right? You're allowed to bring like 12 people with you with one invite, right?
The more the more the merrier. So usually the first year they come like 2 of them, maybe 3, and then they look and they're like, oh, they have a bunch of people, and then they're like, oh, and the more years that come, the more people they usually bring. So yeah, the September one's like a wedding, so it's open bar, there's free cabs home, DJ, dancing, etc. And then the April ones are more kid related, so bouncy castles and laser tag and etc. Zip lining, whatever.
And then do you get up on stage and say thank you for coming, or how do you get?
I don't. I'm with everybody all throughout the day in April. It's daytime, and then nighttime in September. And I'm just visiting with everybody. Everybody gets 2 invites before every party in snail mail. Plus I call every person before every party. And then they get a thank you for coming with a picture, kind of like if you go to like an amusement park and I don't know if they have it like Darien Lake or whatever, but in where we have Canada's Wonderland, they take your picture when you come in. So basically they get a thank you card with their picture of their family or whoever they came with for coming to the party. But even if they missed the party, they get another thank you with pictures of people and just saying, reminder, these events are brought to you from your referrals, and thank you for always keeping us in mind. So I'm just always letting them know about that and reminding them that that's why they are. So they're like, oh yeah, we're supposed to remember Kristin. Oh yeah, our friend Betsy or whatever said about moving. We haven't told, Betsy about Kristin yet. So I'm just always trying to stay top of mind with them and not think it's all just business. You're only talking to me because of real estate, because I do enjoy all the other interactions, but obviously, then for business as well, it's helpful. So.
tribeofmillionaires.com. Guys, write that down. Rockstar Nation got a free special offer for you. Now, I've just written a book, and it's just been published. Co-authored it with David Osborne, who's been on this show multiple times. If you don't know David, he is one of the top execs at Keller Williams Real Estate, was personally mentored for the last 2 decades by Gary Keller himself, and he's in all kinds of businesses. His bio and explanation and everything is in this book. But anyways, David and I got together. We decided to write a book. We called it Tribe of Millionaires. And I guarantee you it's going to change your life. To find out more, just go to tribeofmillionaires.com. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. Only thing we ask in return is, of course, number one, you pay the shipping. Not a big deal. But number two, that you go on Amazon and write us a review. We're really looking to get an incredible amount of reviews. And because of that, we're giving this book away for free. Go to tribeofmillionaires.com today. That's crazy. I'm amazed that you're able to do that, that you're able to travel, that you're able to keep your expense. Like, how do you keep your expenses so low, throwing these galas and mailing things out every, whatever, and a team.
Well, so my team, I pay for like their dues and their fees, their expenses, and then they get a cut of every deal that they do. But because I'm giving them everything, so they get more if it's their center of influence, right? So if it's their sister, their hairdresser, whatever, they get a higher cut. But because I'm giving them everything, they don't get that high of a cut. So that still leaves me with a lot.
Oh, right? So they're all getting paid kind of like on the back end, basically.
Yeah, they're like a franchise kind of thing. Like, Starbucks, let's just say it's Rebecca's, coffee shop, and she only sells 1 coffee a day, but she obviously gets more per cup. But then when they work with me, they're selling, 4 coffees a day or whatever it is. I'm not in a day, but a week or whatever. And so they're selling more. They're not getting as much as everyone, but my agents sell more, in a month than the average realtor here does in a year. So they're selling way more. Right. So it's kind of like franchise.
So, all right. So let's talk about your investing. Like how many, like what do you buy to invest in? What do you look for? And it sounds like you must be basically taking everything you have left at the end of the day, after travel and business expenses, and just plugging it into investments, right? I mean, for you to have 20,
do a lot. Yeah. Because to be honest, if it stays in my account, I'll just spend it. So I'd rather have it invested in something that's, giving me a return. I used to love 1-family houses that I made into 2 and 3 and 4 units. But more recently, like starting last summer, before I'd already had some waterfront properties, but I hadn't rented them out like short term. So last summer I started doing short term and basically trying out the whole Airbnb game. And then I really liked that. So then I switched a bunch over to Airbnb. Then I just sold 2 properties of mine. I have 3 listed right now because they don't work for the Airbnb game. So back in the day, it was always single family making them multifamily. And then now I like the Airbnb. So it evolves, right? I just liked it back then because if one person didn't pay their rent, I had somebody else that would, pay my mortgage. So I wasn't just relying on the 1 family in case they were behind. I didn't want it to come out of my pocket. So that's why I like the multi-kitchens, multi-units.
Interesting. And well, of course, the returns are so much better, when you can rent it out short term, a lot more management, but the returns are better.
I made more in a week than I did in a month. And I was still making good in the month. I was still, way above, in the green, right? But now I do more in a week.
So, okay. So then the question would be, okay, so you're making good profit, much better profit, 4 times the profit. Why would you sell them?
Because those ones they weren't suitable for Airbnb because I used to do all.
So you're like, hey, if you can't do Airbnb, I don't want it anymore. Yeah, I don't want a traditional blue collar rental. It's just.
Yeah. I was like, been there, done that, over it. Now I'm on to this new game. Yeah. So that's why.
Because your returns are so much better. So you're like, hell, if I can make this much on my money, why would I make this much on my money?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's.
And the only answer to that question is diversification, right? Like, just in case Airbnb gets shut down or just, it's always good to have conservative shit and also, stuff that pays you
I still have
a lot more.
some, like I didn't sell them all and to only do
Okay.
Airbnb. Basically, it's when tenants frustrated me or something, then I did. I'm like, yeah, you're annoying me. Like, it could be nothing really, but just in my mind, they were annoying me. So I'm like, yeah, okay, get rid of that one.
Yeah, I'm selling off some too. I'm selling off my houses that will probably be the hardest to sell in a bad market, and that traditionally get lower rent than other ones just like it that I have. So, kind of like just culling the herd. I think it's a great time to do that. It's a great time to be like, this one's 3 doors down from a major road. This is probably the one I should sell versus the one that's 2 miles deep into a neighborhood. So
yeah, I'm similar. Like 2 of the 3 up for sale right now are side by side. So they're currently 3 units each, right? So 6 altogether, but there's approval for the lot to do an 8-plex with like 1,600 square foot per unit. So I'm not going to sell one individually when they have the option to have them both and then build this multiplex, or they can just keep it as is. And if they never do that, then they never do it. Right. But so that's just why I picked that one.
That's a good one. Multifamily. The greater sucker rule is at an all-time high for multifamily right now. For anybody, everybody wants to get in the game and buy like a duplex or a 4-plex or an 8-plex or whatever. So, you can. It's a great time to sell those.
And then my other one that I have up for sale, it used to be yearly rental, but then I started Airbnb in December of last year, and it had a 1-bedroom basement apartment, 3 bedrooms upstairs. But anybody that stayed downstairs would complain because they're partying upstairs, basically, right? They're too noisy. So it worked in yearly rental, but it did not work in Airbnb. So that's why I'm getting rid of it.
Well, also now, believe it or not, they have noise meters that you can put in the house, and it actually will go off on your phone if the decibel level is too high and let you know, so you could call them or you can even make a buzz in their house like a fire alarm. So anyways, okay, cool. So
I've heard that.
So
I don't have them, but
no, that's cool. Okay. And then you also make money, like what coaching and stuff, or tell me about that. Like, what do you do? Like, or is that just beginning? Like,
so that's an online course. Just because people often ask me, how I got into real estate or how I did that. If they think, oh, do you have one rental property? But then they find out how many, and, so basically just people ask me questions all the time. And so I just thought, instead of telling them all individually, and obviously the story could be longer than the short version I tell them. So I just put it all in a course. So basically they can go through it all. And if they want to follow the steps, awesome. And it just shows them how to, be a real estate investor. And they can do it at their own speed. Like, I got my real estate license. So I was a massage therapist, right? So I worked at at that time, golf course, and then they had snowboarding, skiing, like a resort. So in between golf and ski, I was dead. So I did online courses. So I just like it at your own pace. And because I was a bartender, I could have studied at 4 a.m. if I wanted. So I just like the online, do it at your own pace kind of thing. So that's why I did that. And then events, that has not happened yet. So I'm used to my events, like 2 big ones a year, 5 little ones a year. But then I'm going to start these other events of, for the public, so they can see how to get into the real estate game and what things to spend their money on flipping and what things not to do. And should they keep it or should they flip it? If they keep it, do they do it short-term, long-term? Do they spend the money on the kitchen or whatever? And just kind of go over the whole process, how to use other people's money, to buy the house, how to, leverage once the bank tells them they can't get any more money. Just go over the whole process. So we're just in the copywriting phase of all that to make sure it's all set in stone before, the first event.
That's awesome. Okay. So like, of the deals you do, just out of curiosity, like how many are listings and how many are buyers?
So last year we did 67% listings.
Wow. So I need to talk to you about that. So like, how did you do that? We're in a world now where, agents are so buyer heavy, right? And so it's refreshing. I mean, that's almost 70%. How did you do that?
To be honest, I've seen, your podcasts and stuff, but I didn't ever track that. Like, I tracked deals, but I never tracked buyer seller. So we started to then track buyer seller at the office to see, because we didn't actually know. I thought it was more even, just like if I had to guess. But then as we started to track it, then we saw that buyers are obviously time heavy, right? So usually sellers are buyers also. So if you can get them on the sell side, then obviously you can get them on the buy side. But I mean, because we are doing so much repeat business. So, but it's not even that. Like, even if I'm I'm a shopper. Like, if you put me in any clothing store or any, like, there's pillows or lamps or anything, I will thrive and be the happiest woman ever. But so anywhere I am, like, even if the person's just helping me, I ask, like, they're helping me and they're like, oh, I've seen you in here a lot. And, they're like, what do you do? Are you a home stager or whatever? And I just talk to people. And, I just say, if you knew of anybody buying or selling, do you have somebody you would trust to refer them to? And they'd be like, no, not really. Or, oh, I just am always talking to people and trying to connect with people. So besides past, clients and people referring, I'm just talking to everybody and anybody. When I did one of my real estate courses years ago, a law course, the teacher said, don't be a secret agent. And at that time, I used to be like, if I was at the mall and I saw somebody I knew, I'd like duck in a store and
right. Because sometimes you do get annoyed, right? Like,
but I would be a secret agent. Yeah. So now
I know. You have to embrace it. I went through that same thing, man. I used to, my wife would be like, oh shit, we're out of milk or whatever. And I'd be like, oh no, I got to go to the store. I'm going to see 3 people. Right. I don't want to, and then I'd be like, oh, I don't want to wear this t-shirt and haven't shaved yet, and then I shave and put on like a collared shirt and go get the milk and see 3 people. But I had to have a talk with myself. And I said, no, this is fun. You need to embrace it. Yeah, exactly. You need to make it a game. And then I started making it a game where I'd be like, I'd be like, how much do you want to bet I'll see 3 people? Yeah. Should be like $10. I said, all right, you're on. And I go in there and I'd be like, come back. Hey, I saw this person. And
right.
And so.
Yeah, no, yeah. You have to allot the time for it. Also, we have free trailers. So even if I'm, say, at some little rinky-dink place and I don't think I'm going to see anybody, sometimes I have a trailer on the back so they recognize me, or they're driving down the street and they're like honking and I think somebody's honking because my lights
wait a minute, a trailer? What do you mean a trailer?
Sorry. So we have 4 trailers. So we let our clients have trailers, boxes, tape when they're moving, all for free.
Like a U-Haul trailer, like you put on the back of your car and you fill it up with stuff,
boxes and moving. Yeah.
And then wait a minute, and then you put Kristin Cripps on there?
Yeah, it says Cripps Realty on the side and, has our whole logo. So they see it driving around town from, clients. And then also we use them because we do staging. So I just have to always allot the time, because if I just am going, oh, I'm just going to go drop this one couch off, with one of my staff or whatever. I can't be like, oh, that'll be 20 minutes. I have to think, okay, people are going to honk at us or they're going to see us, or they're going to pull up to the house. Like, they'll pull up to the house and be like, hi, I know, sorry, you're working. And they'll just come and say hi. So it's like the visual of us that we're everywhere. So I just give the time to visit.
I love that. And then like just out of curiosity, like how much does one of these trailers cost?
They're like $4,200. The size that we have. So we have 3 16 foot ones and 1 18-foot ones. I'm trying to get a actual thing that, so basically they just hook it onto their tow hitch right now. Yeah. But not everybody has that. So I'm trying to get a regular like a regular moving truck. But my insurance company is giving me a hard time with that. So I'm just trying to figure out the loopholes to get
yeah. So look for a different insurance company, because a lot of them are, it just depends. Some are much more liberal. The agent that you get,
yeah.
I don't know what it's like in Canada, but in the US, I had that same problem too. And I called a couple other people and finally found a dude who was like, don't worry about it, right. So yeah, that's cheap too, to get those things. That's really cheap. I mean, that's like 3,000 US.
Yeah. So I've actually had other realtors use them. They're like, hey, do you mind, my son's moving this weekend. Can I use your trailer? And at first I was like you're a realtor at a completely different brokerage than I am and whatever. But then I'll have admin look to see, and they're like, yeah, no, we have one available. I'm like, meh. So it looks funny on them that they're, driving around, they have their car wrapped in their name and then they're pulling my trailer because they don't have one. So it's kind of funny, but whatever. I let them use it. I'm not hogging it. If it's available, obviously I'm going to let my clients use it first, but if it's available, other realtors have used it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, have you always been your own company, or
no?
No.
I started Royal LePage.
Okay.
Yeah, I started at Royal LePage. I just went because my realtor at that time worked there and I liked her. So I just went there. I didn't interview anywhere else. I literally just went where she went.
And then at what point did you say, hey, I'm going to just get my own brokerage license? And why did you do that?
So after Royal LePage, went to like a small no-name type brand. It's called Your Choice Realty. It's not even in the States. But I went there because basically I was being a typical agent, like making X amount, but spending it. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't making, I was still bartending. I was still massaging.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is my last year. I'm going to try at like a no-name kind of brokerage. If I make it, awesome. If not, I'm out. And that was the first year I made money. Then I got I had a part-time admin just for 8 months, and she used to work in my garage that I converted into an office. And then I said, instead of like you taking a bus into my garage and it's kind of ghetto, let's get a regular office, So we did that. And so I had my own office, but under this umbrella of this no-name brokerage for 7 years. I got my broker's license. We had it all there. And the only reason I actually got my broker's, like my, not my broker's license, but opened as a brokerage, was just for tax purposes. Because I already had the office, admin, the team building, whatever. And I was doing staging. So that's why I had a lot of space for all the couches and stuff. But I just did it for tax purposes. My accountant said, like, one year he told me how much money I owed. And I was like, do you want to move that decimal over? A few.
Yeah, right.
And he said, no, it's time. You need to open your brokerage. So it was just a tax purpose thing, to be completely honest.
Yeah, cool. Hey, Real Estate Rockstars, this is Pat Hyben. And before we jump back into today's content, I want to tell you about an extraordinary offer from an extraordinary company. I'm talking about My Outdesk. If you haven't heard of My Outdesk, basically they're a virtual assistant company, a VA company that specializes in virtual assistants for real estate agents. Yeah, I'm talking about transaction coordinators, marketing assistants. I'm talking about ISAs, inside sales agents that prospect thousands and thousands of seller leads and buyer lead follow-ups. I mean, these guys are trained in this stuff specifically. You're not using a company that doesn't know or understand real estate sales. 4 out of 5 of the top teams in the US use My Outdesk for their virtual assistants. And because I know the owner, Daniel Ramsey, I've known him for over a decade, and I know how awesome and incredible this company is and how it saves agents thousands and thousands of dollars every single week and makes them thousands and thousands of more every single week. We're going to give you a $400 coupon off of your first month of a virtual assistant and give you a free book entitled Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. So you can read it and look into it before you decide anything. It's called Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And you can get it real easy. All you got to do is text the word Hyben, H-I-B-A-N, to 31996. That's H-I-B-A-N to 31996. And download your free book, Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And don't forget to mention also that you get a $400 discount, which will give you a coupon for that when you download the book. Thank you, guys, and I hope you enjoy and make a ton of money using My Outdesk. Do the math. It's worth every single dollar. That's a title of a comment that I got on my certified listing agent course from Rebus University. It's from Bill Reed. This is what Bill says. Bill says, looking to take your listing presentation to the next level? I've closed 100 appointments since I took Pat's certified listing agent course. 5 appointments, 5 new clients, 60 days. Boom, do the math. It's worth every single dollar. Thanks, Bill. But listen, guys, I am offering this to you if you haven't already taken it, because so many brokers and teams make their agents take it before they do a single listing appointment. But if you haven't taken it, you can go to rebusuniversity.com and get it now. Now, here's the thing. For 30 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that course. I'm going to give you the buyer agent course, which teaches you how to close every single serious buyer that calls on the phone or emails. The certified team agent course is taught by Jeff Cohn, one of America's top agents on how to build a team from zero to hero to hundreds and hundreds of units every year, step by step. It's like a 12-hour course plus 7 other courses. Yes, you heard that right. All for a measly $127 a month. If you were to go to Rebus University and buy these courses individually, it costs you over $10,000. But today, if you go to futureofrealestatetraining.com, that's futureofrealestatetraining.com, you'll learn what Bill Reed did, which is how to close 100% of the listing appointments you go on. Quite impressive. And you'll learn all the other incredible details provided in the 11 5-star courses that are offered. Yeah, it's like all you can eat bazaar. You go in now and you pay $127 a month. If you can eat all 11 courses in 1 month, that's all you pay is $197. This is a bargain, guys. Get it now. Futureofrealestatetraining.com. All right, cool. So, so let's talk about your free gift here, Kristin. What'd you bring as your free gift today?
And so I brought the buyer presentation. So obviously buyers, how I said, like, buyers time, we all know it's time. I know somebody that says, buyers are liars or whatever, but so they're time consuming. You could drive them around for 8 months. This happened to me back in the day. And, they said, awesome, we want to see this house for a second time. They saw the third time, they brought their family. They're like, we want to make an offer. I'm like, that's great. What conditions do you want? What deposit, what have you? And they said, well, they told me all the stuff, but they said, don't worry about doing it. Our sister just got her license last week. So I showed them all this time. They never bought.
What the hell?
I know. But so
did they buy that house?
They did with their sister.
Well, wait a minute. Can't you do something about that? Isn't there procuring cause or something like?
I didn't have them under buyer representation, so that's why I sent the.
But you showed it to them 3 times.
Yeah, but I didn't have them under contract, so that's why for the toolbox, like I was saying to you, I could give you a million things. We have tons of things all categorized. But
what did you say to them? Did you say like, that's ridiculous? I showed this to you 3 times.
No, I was more of a. Like, okay, I wasn't the same person that I am now.
What would you say now?
Well, I wouldn't have them not under contract. I'd say that's really unfortunate, because we have spent the time and, I have protected your interests throughout this whole process. And I thought, we had that rapport, and I didn't realize that you were working with somebody, that had
they obviously they weren't,
Yeah. Or that was getting their license, or, I probably wouldn't have, spent this time with you. I did show you all the comparables. I did show you this. I showed you this is the price we should be putting and whatever, and just say, I just basically try and say, but if they still want to use their sister, I just say, I appreciate that. But if you ever have anybody again, I go back to my referrals thinking of buying or selling, and they appreciate the expertise that I have. No offense to your sister, but she is new. I'd be happy to help them out and be that second set of eyes or their first set of eyes if you don't even send them to your sister at all,
Well, you're a saint. I think a lot of people would like
I've had
curse them out 3 ways. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Why? So let's talk about this. So why do you think agents say buyers are liars? I mean, why is that? Why does that saying even exist? And I know why it exists, because they, say one thing, then they do the other. But right. So how is that the agent's fault? Like, talk to me about that. What do you tell your agents? What do you do yourself to make sure that they don't have that philosophy?
So that's like, we have the buyer presentation. We want them to be informed, like educated buyers. So that's why I gave that for the toolbox or whatever. So we can just show them how we are protecting their interest and the difference between a selling agent and a buying agent, and just show them basically stats, as boring as it is, like how much they can save. And we have a lot of protection programs. So as a buyer's side for protection, if they don't love the house that they buy for a year, so it doesn't matter, they don't like the neighbors, they don't like the school district, the basement flooded or whatever, we'll buy it back or sell it for free. So we just want to always be protecting them. Like, a lot of people are worriers, right? They're worried they won't sell their house. They're worried they'll hate their new house or whatever. So we just always want to take that away and just show them all this value. So they're willing to pay the cost, which is free for them to sign, do you know what I mean? Our buyer representation.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I guess I guess at the end of the day, it might be a good statement because if you got to think like if you're going into business with someone that you know is a liar, then you're going to, you know, get them to sign something. You know, you could use that statement to your advantage, right? If you know that they're going to lie to you, if you know they're crook, and I'm not saying they are, but I'm saying then you're going to be more aggressive in saying, well, let me get this in writing, right? And let me get you under buyer agreement. You can even tell them that story. And the guys listening, you could even say, hey, I know an agent who showed a house 3 times to somebody and worked with them, and then they bought it through their sister. And I'm just going to make sure that that doesn't happen in our relationship because I plan on giving you 110% and, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And they can understand. They can appreciate that.
To be honest, like you said, like, oh, that was nice of you or your saint or whatever to not cut them off. I had one fellow buy 6 houses off me, like buy and sell, do 6 ends. And then he bought a house off somebody at an open house. Didn't call me, didn't anything. He said, I knew you were busy. I didn't want to lose it. I didn't want somebody else to offer. I didn't just write him off. And after that point, I have it tracked somewhere, but let's just say 15 to 20, he's still referred me people and he's still done 2 transactions himself. Whereas if I was just like, F you, I'm never talking to you again, whatever, I was like, oh, it sucks that happened. But, you know, I'm always still here for you. If you ever need me to run comparables on stuff, if you ever need this, if you ever need that, to still show that I'm the professional. And, you know, that's obviously not the way I want to do business with clients and whatever, but he, you know, still used me after, never used that agent after, never anything. So I took the higher road and whatever. If he continued to use different people all the time, obviously I wouldn't, I'd take him out of my sphere and my database. But I usually give people like one whoopsie of something. If it's rational, right?
Yeah, that's good. No, that's great philosophy. Absolutely. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this whole buyer presentation, which you need to have, at hibandigital.com/ Kristin Cripps, and it's Kristin, Cripps, CRIPPS, hibandigital.com / Kristin Cripps. Kristin, this has been a blast. If I'm ever in the Toronto surrounding areas, I will definitely look you up and we can break some bread.
For sure. And if you ever need a spot to stay, because all my Airbnbs, I have Toronto all the way up to cottages an hour and a half away. So you're welcome to stay in any of them. My treat. They're beautiful. So, and I thought of an extra thing that I don't think we said.
Yeah, go for it.
Check out the docuseries. So there's Jeff Hayes Films. It's out February. There's a wealth breakthroughs one and a women in business. So empowering women. And then, you know, a wealth breakthrough. So it's all different people. Some people talk about stock markets. I'm talking about real estate. So if you have time, check it out. This is a docu-series on, badass women, basically. Yeah, the women in business one. It's all, women in business. And so, guys, what I'm going to do also is I'll put all her information in the show notes. And I'll put all her social media and contact. If you want to keep in touch with her, you want to watch her, you want to, get the link to this to this series when it comes out. All her contact information will be in the show notes. That's hibandigital.com / Kristin Cripps. And of course, as far as her buyer guide, I'm also going to put it in the Agent Success Toolbox, which can be found on hibandigital.com / toolbox, or just text the word toolbox to 444-999. Kristin, thanks so much. Thank you. It was awesome. Have an amazing day and hope to see you. I'm going to check out when the Go Abundance is for the women. Yeah, Go Abundance Women, guys. If you haven't checked it out, GoAbundanceWomen.com. Yeah, 1 or 2 events a year because I will go. They just had an event in Nashville and they're having another event coming soon. I'm not sure where it is. But a couple events a year they're having, and they just started recently, already like 42 members strong. So if you're a woman and you're listening and you want to surround yourself with high-powered women in a mastermind type setting, check out GoAbundanceWomen.com, and you might see Kristin there. Yeah, I will. Conference junkie. I will be there. Thank you.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Rockstar Nation, thank you for listening to Real Estate Rockstars. Listen, I need a favor. If you find this free content helpful, if you find our downloadable items from each guest helpful, please, I need you to pull out your pointing finger. Yes, the one finger that points at people, and hit subscribe. Yes, subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better we look in the ratings, and the easier it is to get guests like Robert Kiyosaki, Barbara Corcoran, all the players that are on $1 million listing in the different cities. All that stuff makes it easier the more subscribers we get, so please subscribe. And listen, there's a lot of places you can leave comments. There's a lot of places you can like. We're on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. Instagram page is I am Pat Hyben. The Facebook is Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Feel free to leave us comments there. The most popular form of commenting seems to happen on YouTube. Yes, for whatever reason, it's a very open environment. So just go to YouTube and go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Leave us comments there. Some of them we will read on the show. We love your feedback. So thanks, guys, and I hope you are having a great day. Oh, and also, listen, if you're going to subscribe and you haven't already left a review on iTunes, please do that too. Have a great day, and thanks so much, Rockstar Nation. I really appreciate you.